Yes, people, welcome to my review of the Charmillion Aqua Club or Aqua Park Club Resort here in Sharm el Sheikh. If you're the first time watching my videos, I've been to over 70 countries worldwide. I go on holiday 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year. I've started doing reviews on hotels that I stay in, basically to try and give you some knowledge. Anyone who's booked this holiday or hasn't been here before or is thinking about booking, at least you get a kind of idea of the place, because I find myself, when I'm looking at researching holidays these days, things like TripAdvisor's full of adverts, the reviews just show towel arts and saying thank you to random members of staff. It's not really indicative of what I want to see from when I'm looking at a review for a hotel or resort. So this is why I'm doing these kind of videos. If you like this review or it's coming useful, please give me a subscribe or a like on YouTube. Share it with your friends. Make sure I'm not just speaking to myself here making these videos. I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, this is the Charmillion Aqua Park Club Resort. It's a bit confusing with this hotel because they've got a number of Charmillion resorts. They've got a Gardens Aqua Park, a Club Resort, and a Sea Life Aqua Park, or something like that. It's very confusing, the different names of them. But basically, this one here, this Aqua Park Club Resort, is set away from the other 3 or 4 resorts they've got, which are only a block down the road. Those ones are kind of on the seafront. So with a lot of the hotels that you've got in Sharm el Sheikh, it's right on the beach where you can, your hotel's there, and if you want to go for a paddle in the sea or go snorkeling off the reef, it's right there. This one's different. It's set back from the ocean front. They do a shuttle bus, which is hourly, and it'll take you to the other resorts, so you can get access to the sea. But from my reviews, it's very hard to tell. You see reviews online and they're contradictory. People are giving reviews for this resort when they renamed it one of the other ones, and vice versa, and it's very hard to tell them apart. But this is the Aqua Park Club Resort. So that one you'll probably see has got a number of slides and things like that. And also kind of things for the kids. There's also a little main pool down over there as well, which is kind of a more of a traditional pool. But there you kind of your three pools you get here. The other Charmillion ones do have an aqua park on it as well, which from pictures online it does actually look better. So it's a bit of a strange one because they call this the Aqua Park Club Resort when really the other hotels, which aren't named that, have better aqua parks. Either way, from my recommendation on this, I've stayed at 5-star boutique hotels. I've stayed at hostels throughout my life. I've stayed everywhere in every type of different hotels. These are my favourite type of hotels, not just for me, for the kids as well, where, it's effectively a clean 3/4 star. Everything's clean here, decent enough food, big bang for your value. And I don't think really you get better holidays than that these days. It ticks every box for every member of the family. And even if you want to try and skimp and save and try and get something a bit less than a hotel like this, I think that saving doesn't equate to the kind of service that you get. It's better to go for something like this. So do I recommend this hotel? Yes, I do. But it is a bit of a strange one where it's got positives and negatives on it. Not everything is hunky-dory, should we say. There are some kind of negatives on this, which may affect your choice on a holiday, what you think about it, what you're looking to get out of a holiday to Sharm el Sheikh, or maybe not. For me, it didn't really make that much of a difference, but I'll go into that kind of as we go on with the video. Effectively, the slides are superb. Okay, it's an aqua, it's classed, named as an Aqua Club Park Resort. They're open from 10 till 5, I think it is. The big negative I have with that is, as you can see now, they shut. So during the middle of the day, from around 12ish till sometimes up to 3 apparently, they shut them, which is just bonkers. I just can't. I think the reason why they do it is they need the staff to man the restaurant. So even though like the main selling point of this hotel is, well, it's got plenty of slides, you've got a full aqua park. I can perhaps understand it on the big ones. I can understand maybe they shut those through the middle of the day because, I don't know, whatever. But the small ones here, which don't require any staff, really. I mean, you've got a lifeguard still on duty there. I don't think you can see him down there. He's sat there watching. But they shut these ones for the kids, which is just that's bonkers. That's a big negative, I think, in my opinion. Luckily, my kids aren't super keen on the slide. They'll go on them a couple of times a day, but it's not a big selling point on it. So yeah, that is a big negative on this thing, that I find that, you're effectively, everyone has a big go on the slides from 10 o'clock till 12 o'clock, and they're kind of busy. I was busy is probably the wrong word. You might queue for a couple of minutes at the top of them, that's about it. And then it goes quiet and everyone kind of just, the whole place kind of lulls down, all the music goes off, and everyone goes for lunch for up to 3 hours, and it starts back up and it all picks up again. So yeah, I can't see the logic in that, but yeah, whatever, that's a big negative on it. Again, the other thing which I find a big negative with this hotel, which as I said, mentioned earlier on in the video, is it's not a seafront hotel. So I like swimming in the sea. That's my favorite thing to do on holiday. The reef here in Sharm el Sheikh, on all the hotels where they've got like kind of a boardwalk kind of setup where you go and you can jump straight into the drop off of the coral reefs and see it straight away. That you have to take by a bus, which can be quite annoying to be fair. I'd like to do that once a day. I've done it twice in the week that I've been here. So I've been here a full week. I've tested all the kind of different services they've got in this hotel. So I'll give you a good view on it. The food here is decent. The main buffet gets a bit hustly-bustly from time to time, but the weird thing is that the other restaurants, there's a restaurant down there, Indian restaurant, they've got like snack bars and things. They're quiet and the food is better quality, but no one seems to do that. They all seem to kind of pack into the buffet. Again, I can't see the logic with that, but my big tip for you is that if you are coming here and you want a bit of a quiet lunch, head down to the Indian restaurant. The snack bars around the pool, you get burgers, hot dogs, chips and things, feed the kids. There's good quality food. Yeah, that's really good. But yeah, so that's kind of my opinion with that. It's the same thing with dinner. So once you're here for a week's stay, you get two goes in any of the other restaurants. They got one main restaurant which is down there by the terrace bar, and that's your kind of beach thing. But if you can see in the background there, in that block there, that's where the kind of the terrace bar and the buffet restaurant is. That one there, in the evenings, again, quite hustly and bustly. They've got a nice kind of barbecue feature they do outside, which is quite nice. But then the other ones, such as this Indian restaurant, they've got an Italian restaurant, which is that one over there. You can see that one there. And they've also got a hidden Mexican restaurant, which is like tucked round the back. All of that, the food there is a league ahead at the buffet restaurant, in my opinion. It may be worth you queuing there. I've tried it a couple of times and gone and said, you know, have you got any availability? Because, you know, on the app which they give you, you're only allowed to book 2 a week. But if you know, just kind of with my luck, I went there and they fitted me in. I actually stayed at I've had there 4 or 5 times. I think I've had dinner. Just went there, slipped them £200 Egyptian pounds, which is about £3.50. Said, can you fit me in? They're like, yeah, sure. We've got enough space. Might work for you, might not, but the food in all those restaurants is superb. The Indian restaurant there, Hendy I think it's called, as good as any British high street, like high-end Indian restaurant. They're really superb food. Same with the Italian. It's all waiter service there, so again, grateful if you tip. If you're a British person, it goes a long way the money you get here, that you can tip them a few quid and you're effectively doubling their wages for the day. And the Mexican as well. The Mexican restaurant, weirdly, which is something alien to me being in Egypt, is probably some of the best Mexican food I've ever tasted in my life. So I'd highly recommend the restaurants rather than the buffet restaurant, which again, you know, it's a kind of swings and roundabouts for this hotel, where that food is superb. The buffet restaurant's all right, don't get me wrong, I'm not putting it down, but when there's the option for that, try to kind of get in as much as you can on that if I were you. What else can I kind of mention about this hotel? It's all clean. The staff are great. Every kind of staff member that I've spoken to, whether they're kind of lifeguards or waiters or reception staff, they've all been superb. So I'd give the staff here a good 10 out of 10 for their service that they provide. They really are nice people. They're not kind of tip hungry. I don't really feel anywhere in here you're kind of upsold anything. So that you're never kind of like, here you go, here's your cocktail, but if you want to pay premium, you get this extra. There's no pressure for that, which I like. There's not really that many services you can buy for that. The good thing as well, which they do, is someone's come up with some great ideas around here to entertain the kids. So it's a really kid-centric hotel. Obviously, if you're looking at this, that's kind of, I would imagine, what you're thinking of coming here with young kids. The kids love it. The pool here, this big main pool here, is effectively knee deep. So you can leave the kids there all day playing on the slides, well, apart from when they turn them off. But they're really safe. You can kind of sit by the pool's edge and watch them, and you know they're safe. These ones are just obviously for the slides. The slides are good. The Spaceball thing there is a really good slide. They've got 3 on here. They've got a couple of big ones on the back. I don't know if you can see that one there. That kind of That one's, it's pretty scary, that one, I must admit. My daughter went on it, absolutely loved it. I wouldn't have gone on it had my 7-year-old daughter not had a go on that. They've got a wave machine that turns on twice a day. Again, a bit surprising it's only on twice a day, but I guess it does meet the demand there. I think it comes on at 12 and 3, comes on for about 10 minutes. Kids love that. Very cold, that pool. These pools seem to be heated. So this one and the kind of the main pool, which is just around the corner there, that one you see by the heart is actually just a fountain here, which is really pretty and nice. There's another little pool over that side, which is kind of 1.80 m, I think it goes to, which is nice for kind of adults to go in there. They don't stop kids going in there at all, which is nice. You know, it's not like a fuddy-duddy area where adults will stare at you if you bring any kids there. But those two are heated, these ones aren't. There's also a lazy river here. I don't know if you can see that. It goes all the way round that whole complex. That hasn't been working when I've been here. So I don't know how long that's been, but judging on the kind of the dirt on the bottom of it, I don't think it's going to be working for a while. You can see kind of like this bit of rubbish in there and stuff like that. Like balloons where they had a party yesterday. That hasn't worked, but it doesn't look the best anyway, in all honesty. I don't think I'd be spending hours and hours and hours doing it. The main attractions are definitely those slides, which the main 3 you can see here, which, as I say, turn off in the middle of the day. The good thing they've done in this hotel is someone's come up with some great ideas. So I'll show you later on in this video, but they've got little things like they do slushies at some of the bars for the kids, which is beyond other little hotels I've been to. They do in the evenings around this kind of fountain thing here, you can hire little buggies for kids to go round, and like electric buggies, and they have 15 minutes on it for effectively the cost of £5 Love that in the evenings. It's just, you know, something little for them to look forward to, and you can kind of you know, they look forward to after dinner doing that. There's also a PlayStation room. Again, superb idea that is. My daughter, she loves playing PlayStation, and if she's good through the day and she's, you know, doesn't give me much lip, I let her have a go on the PlayStation. I think in there it's around about £2 for about an hour's worth of go on there, and they got like 4 PlayStation 5s, loads of games. Really good idea that is. The animation, they've got good animation, kind of like evening shows. It's a big auditorium around the back there. The kids love that. The animation staff, in fairness, are really good here. They're not kind of pushy, and they're not kind of trying to get you out your seat every 5 minutes. It's not on all day, but then when it does come on, they do little Zumba, they do things for the kids in the evenings, they do the usual kind of magic shows, fire shows, things like that. Really good. It strikes that balance of keeping you entertained but not being a pain in the arse. To kind of do that. The booze here is quite good. I'm a standard British Brit here. I make the most of full all-inclusive. It's a health and safety issue, in my opinion. You should stay drunk on these type of holidays so you don't get a bad tummy from any dodgy food at all. The booze here is good. I find the red wine and the beer is decent quality. Cocktails is not too bad. The spirits aren't the best, I must admit, but I think that's just across Egypt. You find that those spirits do lack a little in quality, but they are tasty. They give you a good there's a good like 10-15 list of cocktails that come included in the all-inclusive package. Everyone here is all-inclusive, I think. I don't think they do any like full board or any other options. I have seen people with golden bands on it. Yeah, I don't know what that particularly involves, but yeah, that's my opinion on that. The issue I did have with this hotel on the first day is we booked through onthebeach.co.uk, which are kind of a big one, a kind of travel agency in Britain. They sold us a room for 2 adults, 2 children. When we arrived, it was a tiny room. It was in one of these blocks here, facing the back, which is a construction site, which I'm not too fussed with, really. You know, as long as I'm not spending much time in my room, didn't mind that. But the room was tiny. It was effectively a double bed, and then in the hallway there was a single bed placed. So I said, hang on a minute, this is going to be 3 people only. So I went to reception and said, look, we need another bed in the room. I did this in other hotels previously when they've done stuff like that, and generally the bed turns up and it's fine. You know, we're all 4 of us will squeeze in the flat, it's not a problem. But here the room was so small you couldn't put a 4th bed in there, or sorry, a 3rd bed in there. So it was obviously a double and a single. Just wanted one more single for my kid. They couldn't do it. It was just there was no space for it. So I had a big back and forth with the receptionist. He said, he basically blamed On the Beach and said they shouldn't be selling these rooms as suitable for 2 adults, 2 children. He said you need a family suite, so I had to pay extra. It wasn't too bad, and I think normally they charge $280 for, so that's about 220 quid for a week to upgrade to a family suite. He said I'll give you a discount on it, take it down to $140, which is about £110 for the week. So I had to pay that and got a nice big room then, which is here overlooking the kind of pools. I'll show you later on in the video a little guided tour of the room to show you what you get for that. I kicked off with onthebeach.co.uk with that. I said, that's not on. I said, you've sold us a room for 2 adults, 2 children, it's not on. And they refunded that money, in fairness. Wasn't too bad. They wanted to see a copy of the receipt, wanted to speak to the hotel, but then they refunded that $140 and gave me the room which I paid for. I've never had that in any hotel which I've ever stayed in, where the room isn't suitable for the amount of people that there's actually sold by. I think that's the problem with On the Beach. Or, I don't know, the hotel, blaming them. On the Beach played dumb and ignorant about it. But either way, I got it sorted. But it might be worth you checking that if you are coming here with 2 children and saying, is it a family suite or is it, a bog standard room where we're all kind of squeezed in? The hotel said that some like Azerbaijanians and Uzbekistanis sometimes sleep about 6 in one of those small rooms, which I think is actually bonkers because they must be sleeping on the floor for that, which isn't indicative of the people that kind of stay here. They're nice families here. I haven't had any kind of drunks or kind of rough people in this hotel. For the amount of money that you pay, it's one of Sharm el Sheikh's cheapest hotels. It's a nice clientele. It's nice and safe. The quality of people that stay here seem to be, in my opinion, nice people. They're not roughs and kind of screaming and shouting and drunk by the pool. It's not that type of hotel at all. Everyone's kind of like nice people, polite, etc. There's a lot of Russians here. I think that's standard across Sharm el Sheikh, but also a lot of British people. Britons, I think, shine when you're abroad. They tip, they say thank you, they queue, and yeah, it comes across with the kind of the level of clientele in this place, where it's not snobby, but it's certainly not rough either. So yeah, I think that kind of gives you a good overview of the hotel. I'm going to show you a few clips that I've done for one at the beach, one of the little bits and bobs, areas of the hotel, like candy floss machines again that they put on for the kids, nice little stuff like that. A few other little tips to kind of to think about. They do, if you want sparkling wine, they do that by the bottle, 14 quid a bottle. So if you're into sparkling wine, not too bad. It's like a British Prosecco, but they don't have that normally on the drinks list. But you can get that there. They also do like slightly better cocktails. I think you can buy like pina coladas for effectively 80 pence down there, rather than the normal cocktail list if you want something a bit more premium. And they also do shishas for relatively cheaply. I think the shishas here are around £3, and you get a small little list of shishas. So a lot of people sit in the bar. I'll show you again a bit later at the terrace bar, which is really nice in the evenings. It's a really nice vibe down on that terrace bar in the evenings. So yeah, for things like that, those little extras, I found a very reasonably priced if you want a shisha when you're out here and kind of delve into that kind of Egyptian kind of lifestyle. But yeah, it's me babbling on. Let me show some other things, and hopefully it makes use for you this review. If it does, again, please give me a subscribe, a like, things like that, because it does go a long way. Thank you. This is at the Sea Life Charmillion Resort, which is 10-minute, 5-minute little boat ride away. The best thing about this one is the pier that goes out. So it goes right out to the drop off there, and you can swim on the reef. So if you are staying at resort, I'd strongly suggest making the trip down once or twice in a week to come and see the fish off there. It's really world class snorkeling just off that pier. The moment they're doing construction work to it, so you've got to walk across between those two buoys, which is not a nice walk, to be fair. It's all rocky underneath, but usually the end of the resort you walk straight out and you're seeing that. So I wouldn't not do that at all. If you're staying in this hotel, I'd strongly suggest going to see that one. The beach is pretty good. They've got a few little coves, which differs from a lot of the other hotels in Sharm el Sheikh, where it's not really a nice beach. It's the actual sand quality here is not too bad. You can kind of bathe in it. If you can see there, see that there are people kind of swimming in it. It's not very deep, waist deep, but at least you can kind of plonk yourself in it. Just check out for the flags. So even though it's kind of red flagged on the beach, sometimes the flag up there is yellow. You can go out, but it might be worth you asking reception to call ahead just to make sure, because the last thing you want to do is come down on the bus only to find out you can't go in the sea, because it's probably pointless you coming down. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. It is a nice thing. It's a shame the hotel hasn't got the a seafront location where you can come and do that like most others in Sharm el Sheikh, but at least they still give you the option to do it. Okay, so this is a quick overview of the room. This is a family room. As discussed, this is what we had to pay extra for. We've got 2 double beds on there, little TV, Samsung TV, not bad. And into like the kind of the master bit of the room. Another little Samsung TV in there, and then it overlooks the pool here. So this room is pretty good, but if in comparison to what we originally received, it's chalk and cheese, quite frank. It's got good aircon in here. It is noisy, so even on the lower setting, it is quite noisy, but we work around that. We'll, you know, leave it on all day when we're out, and then when we come back in the evening, we turn it off and it stays off overnight. But yeah, that's kind of the impression of the room. One bad thing for it, so we've got a great view out the front, but out the back, I'll show you that. Right next to a road. Let me I'll show you that, and the airport's right there too. You see that there? Planes taking off all night, noise from the road. I mean, the roads out here are weird. They're like 6 lanes deep, with speed bumps on them, and I don't know what the speed limit is. I don't know, it's kind of the weirdest road system I've ever seen in my life. There's no cars on them, but yeah, whatever. Either way, in the evenings, because it's just through this kind of one door, this is room 125, just for comparison's sake, it's very noisy in here. So yeah, swings and roundabouts with the room. I mean, I can't fault the front aspect on it. I sleep through anything anyway, but again, if you're a light sleeper, if you're sleeping in this room, might make all the difference on it. So yeah, hope that helps. The view out the front, let me just show you that. It's pretty good. Overviewing the aqua park and the kind of main kids pool kind of thing. The wave pool there in the corner. Indian restaurant. Yeah, hopefully that gives you an idea. This is a terrace bar. Really nice vibe at night. It's second to none really. I really like it. It's got nice chilled out like shishas and the kids running around, quiet music, nice cocktails. Yeah, 10 out of 10 for this. Got popcorn and it's a nice. Yeah, that's alright.
You got a big
happy? This is a great little thing they do. One of these things which I really like this hotel for. They got these little cars, so the kids, it's around a fountain in the evening. It's about a £5 for 15 minutes, which isn't too bad. For your kids, the kids can do a little loop of the kind of the fountain area here. Absolutely love it. Again, it's a little great idea they thought of here. Yeah, I really like that. You can see it there with a bar up by the Mexican restaurant. Wasted. Gorgeous food. So yeah, hope that kind of gives you an overview of the hotel. If you've got any questions, drop me a comment. I'll try and reply to anyone. I recommend this hotel. I'd give it a good 7 out of 10. It's got its swings and roundabouts with things I don't like, things that I love. But I think overall you're not going to have a bad holiday here at all. If you come here and you think I don't like this hotel, I think, to be honest, you're being quite overly fussy. It's clean here, the staff are nice, the food is decent, the pools are very good. There's enough entertainment on it. I can't really see what you'd be disappointed with. So yeah, please, if this review is any good, give me a subscribe, give me a like. I've got another few videos on different hotels that I stayed in Sharm el Sheikh. There's also a video I've got of like the top 10 things you need to have if you're in coming to Egypt, like things like medicine and things like water shoes that you need. Go and check that video out. But yeah, thank you for watching, and have a good holiday if you do come here or choose somewhere else.